Hello, welcome to or welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Bookmas. In today's video, we are going to be choosing my December TBR. It is so crazy to think that December is already here. Like, it feels like 2024 just began and it's going to be 2025 before we know it. So that is crazy. But you know what we need to do in midst of the chaos and craziness is build our TBR for the month. I already have 5 books picked out that I want to read. 4 of them are Christmassy, and then one of them is my book club pick. But I think I'm going to choose maybe 7 or 8 more books using TBR prompts just to kind of spice it up a little bit. I say spice it up a little bit as if I haven't been using TBR prompts for like 3 months now. But I just think it is so fun to do, and it really makes me look at every book and every option on my shelf. I am going to be doing today's TBR video a little bit differently than past ones because I am sick. That is why I'm using this little mini microphone right now, is so I don't need to like yell at the actual big microphone. I just have this little one. I'm very stuffed up. My throat hurts very bad, and I'm just overall lethargic. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to sit here and pick the prompts, and then after I choose all of the prompts, I'm just going to go to the bookshelf and pick them all out because I want to sit down for as long as possible. So, I apologize. I hope you don't mind that this is a little bit of a different format than I usually would do for picking my books, but what can I say, guys? I'm tired and this cold is kicking my butt. Also, don't judge me that I'm still using my pumpkin jar. All of our holiday decor is packed away because we moved earlier this year, so it's gonna be pumpkin for a while. Let's choose TBR prompt number 1. Can you guys hear this unraveling? That's what I want to know. Is it like ASMR or is it bad? You guys, I feel like this one's already going to be hard. It is a book where the author's name starts with the same letter as my name. Obviously, my name is Brianna, so I can't even think of like a book on my shelf right now where the author's first name starts as the same letter as mine. But that is for Brianna 5 minutes from now to figure out. TBR jar prompt number 2. Also, I apologize that you guys can't like see the jar. It is sitting on my lap, but that's just how it needs to be. A book released this year. Okay. That should be pretty simple to figure out because I do have quite a few arcs of books that have come out, and also we're at the end of the year. So, like, any books that I have accumulated that have come out this year, we are set. TBR jar prompt number 3. Oh, one of them fell out, but that's not the one I'm taking. I'm taking this one. A book by a favorite author. Okay. Definitely have a few contenders, I know for sure. This is the one that fell out. I'm going to put it back in so it's fair. Let's see, that was 3. So TBR jar prompt number 4 coming up. A book with a title that includes a color. Why do I feel like we had this prompt last month? I can't remember exactly, but I feel like we did. I'm looking over at my shelf right now, and I should definitely have like maybe a few, but probably not a lot with a color. So if I don't have any with a color, I'll choose a backup prompt. And now TBR, what was I going to say there? I don't even know. TBR jar prompt number 5, technically, because the other one was just a backup. A book in a series you have started. I always like getting this prompt because it actually motivates me to finish up a series that I'm in the middle of. So I definitely have a few contenders there. Okay, TBR jar prompt number 6. A book with gold or silver lettering on the cover. So that is definitely more specific now. Okay, and now I think this is going to be my last TBR prompt. So this is number 7. So that would put me at 12 books for the month of December, which I think is good just because I'm going to be doing lots of content creation. I am going to be doing like Christmas stuff, holiday stuff, obviously. A book you can I speak? A book you predict will be 5 stars. We had this prompt last month, I know for sure. So that one's fun, but I feel like it's such high pressure because obviously going into books, like you want every book to be a 5 star, but that's just not realistic. So that's gonna be tough, but we will find one. Okay, now I'm gonna get off my butt and I'm gonna go over to my bookshelf and we're gonna look through the options that we have for these prompts. Alrighty, I have my prompts here and I also have a slightly new setup. I have a new rotating bookshelf that I just got last week, I want to say. And then my TBR bookshelf behind me, it still has a lot of books on it on the lower shelves, but I'm trying to get it ready because I'm going to be redoing my whole little library down here. So basically, I'm gonna want to use this TBR bookshelf as like an actual bookshelf eventually in the next few weeks. So, rotating bookshelf. I'm just gonna put these up here, I guess. Okay, a book with gold or silver lettering on the cover. Let's see if there's any on the TBR rotating bookshelf. Okay, I thought Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young might, but it just has like gold accents on it, not really gold lettering. You know what? Magnolia Park's Into the Dark does, but I haven't even read the first book, so you guys, this is kind of hard. Like, I can't find a book on this shelf. Let me go check this shelf. Okay, you guys, I finally found an option. Well, there were a few options. It was between this and Tress of the Emerald Sea. And honestly, Tress of the Emerald Sea has been on my TBR for longer, but this is just kind of calling my name more right now. So this is Fil Can I speak? Filthy Rich Fae by Geneva Lee, and it has really pretty sprayed edges as well. But this is like a mafia fae romantasy. I don't know. It sounds super fun, like a little palette cleanser, but like still a little bit of fantasy. I think it would be fun. So I'm going to add that to the TBR pile. Oh yeah, I'll go over the other 5 books at the end of this video as well. What was the next prompt? A book where the author's name starts with the same letter as my name. Okay. So we need a B. A B. Is there a B anywhere? Okay, you know what? I think we only have one option, and that is Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis. So thank you, Bonnie. B names unite. I know it's very like critically acclaimed, so I'm excited to read this actually. Next TBR prompt, let's get to it. A book you predict will be 5 stars. Okay. This one could be like not so many, but definitely a few. Like The Empress, I talked about this one in my big book haul video that I posted recently. Like this one sounds so good. Also, another one that I talked about in my book haul is Bride of the Shadow King. This one is like a fae fantasy, also sounds so good. But let's see what else we're working with. You would think after me spinning this around so many times, I should like know these books more and I should just be able to remember them and be like, oh yeah, that one sounds good, but no. Betting on You by Lynn Painter. I feel like definitely has the potential to be a 5 star read because I do love Lynn Painter's YA romances. See, so we definitely have options for this one. P.S. I Hate You by Lauren Connolly. This was my book of the month pick for November. I have heard pretty good things about it, seen pretty good reviews on it. It sounds like a sad romance, so kind of up my alley when it comes to romances. I like things that are a little bit more emotional and just have me on a deeper connection with the characters. Also, One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I really like Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I have seen a few people talk about this one lately and how it has been their favorite book of the year. I don't know. Okay, I think I am just gonna go with The Empress by Kristen Cass because I was so excited when I got it and it is one of the contenders. So we shall see. Hopefully, it's a 5-star rating. The next prompt was a book in a series you have started. Okay. Like I said earlier, there's definitely a few. So we could go with King of Pride by Anna Huang. This is the second book in the King of Sin series by her. And it's been on my TBR for a hot minute. I really enjoyed King of Wrath, so I don't know why I didn't just like continue the rest of the series right away, but this is a contender. Another one by Anna Huang is If We Were Perfect. This is the fourth and final book in the If Love series, so this would be good because then I could wrap up that series. But I think I'm going to go with The Reaper or A Reaper at the Gates by Sabah Tahir. This is the third book in the Ember and Ashes series, and I started that in September, I want to say, like end of September, and I've just slowly been getting through it. It is a YA fantasy series. It is really, really fast paced. I feel like though for some reason I just get intimidated, but I definitely do want to continue the series and find out what is going to happen with Leia and Elias and Helene. So that is getting added to the TBR. A book by a favorite author. Okay, so this one I have like Abby Jimenez, I have Lynn Painter, I have Ali Hazelwood, I have Anna Huang. So like I already know I have good options on here. Ooh, so I haven't read much by Adrienne Young other than The Unmaking of June Farrow, and I've started Fable a few times now, but just cannot get into it. But Spells for Forgetting, I feel like would be more of the same vibes as The Unmaking of June Farrow, and The Unmaking of June Farrow is one of my favorite books of all time. But I don't know if I would say Adrienne Young is my favorite author. Like, I do feel like I would be safer going with one of these other options just because I've read a lot more by those authors and I have enjoyed all of the books. Whereas, like, with Adrienne Young, it's kind of a hit or miss right now. I haven't finished Fable, so I'm not going to give my full thoughts, but like, I've read probably 100 pages 2 times. I've tried reading it and I just can't get into it. Could do the Taylor Jenkins Reid book too. Do I just do the Taylor Jenkins Reid or this is so hard. Like, I'm supposed to be using the TBR jar prompts to help me narrow down what books to choose, but then I get a prompt like this, and I have so many favorite authors who happen to be on my TBR, so it's tough. You know what, though? I think I am gonna go with the Taylor Jenkins Reid One True Loves just because her books read more like literary fiction than a romance, and I already have a lot of other romances on my TBR. Like, the 4 other books are all romances that I'll show you guys at the end of the video. So while yes, this is going to have romance in it, it's more like a fiction read. Because let's be honest, the Abby Jimenez, the Lynn Painter, the Ali Hazelwood, the Anna Huang, all 4 of those authors are going to be romance books and like fluffy, spicy romance books. Whereas One True Love isn't gonna be like that. A book released this year is our next prompt. You know what? I think we need to go with P.S. I Hate You by Lauren Connolly. Obviously, this came out this year because it was the November pick for Book of the Month. I don't know the actual like release date of it, but I do know it was this year. And it has kind of been on my radar. So now this just like gives me an excuse to put it on my TBR. And then our last prompt was a book with a title that includes a color. Okay, you guys, I think literally our only option is Trust of the Emerald Sea, which I feel like we have done before for a TBR jar prompt, and it's because emerald is a color, and I literally think this is the only book on my TBR that has a color in the title. So, this is what it has to be. Let's go sit back down and I will run through all of these books that are on my TBR. Okay, so for the books that you guys did not see, we have In 5 Years by Rebecca Surley. I think this is more so like a magical realism fiction with some romance. But this is my book club pick for the month. If you guys didn't know, I have a book club podcast. You can find it on Spotify at the Chapter Chats podcast. My sister and I or sister-in-law and I do it together, and at the beginning of the month we choose the book that we want to read, and then at the end of the month we get together and discuss it. And we also have an Instagram page that you can follow, and we post discussion questions on there so that you guys can like be a part of the discussion. Then we have The Christmas Tree Farm by Lori Gilmore. This is the third book in the Dream Harbor series, little small town romance. Obviously, that one is very Christmassy for the holiday season. Make the Season Bright. I think this is kind of like a enemies to lovers because they're exes, but they're now stuck together for the holidays. It's women love women, so again, very Christmassy. The Book Club Hotel. I think this is going to be more of a sad fiction, kind of like Taylor Jenkins Reid, because in this book, the husband and wife bought this hotel and like restored it. But now the husband has passed away and the wife is left all alone, so her friends decide to come visit her and do a book club. Sad but heartwarming. And Lovelight Farms, Friends to Lovers, Fake Dating, love it. Then you saw Trust of the Emerald Sea. I think this is more so just like a cozy fantasy. P.S. I Hate You. This one is about exes that go on a road trip because the main character's brother died, and I think the other main character is the brother's friend, and the brother just wanted them to be able to go to all the places that he's not going to be able to go to. So, again, sounds super sad, but kind of like a heartwarming romance. One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'm not sure what this book is actually about. I've heard it's really sad. So, A Reaper at the Gates. Again, this is the third book in the Ember in the Ashes series. The Empress by Kristen Cass. This is a new romantasy that is coming out in January 2025. Lessons in Chemistry. I think this one takes place in like the 1960s, and the main character is a female chemist, but like back in the day, men were like, oh no, she's not a real chemist, like she needs to prove herself. So, and finally, Filthy Rich Fae. Like I said, this is more of a mafia romance fantasy with fae. I definitely think that is a good selection and mixture of books to read in December, so I'm very excited. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you did, and make sure to subscribe, not just to see my normal book content, but also because I am going to be posting 12 days of Bookmas leading up to Christmas this year. And it also just means the world to me when you subscribe. But I will see you in my next video. Bye!